Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. I'm back at Red Rocks, and today we're having a look at, in my opinion, one of the coolest cars for 2025. I think we need more cars like this in this price range, not overpowered whatsoever, and just looks good, and specifically in this sedan styling. Now this also came out of the hatchback just a couple of days ago, which is definitely the one I would go for, but in this case we have the K4 sedan GT line. So what we're gonna do in this video is have a look at this design, because check this out. Very unique styling for Kia. I think they're nailing the design right now. Clearly see that this is a Kia from a front, side, and rear. We're gonna have a look at the interior, and then of course we're gonna take this for a drive. Now, of course, before we jump in and talk about this very, very unique and cool design, let's check out what's under the hood of this 2025 Kia K4 GT line in this color called Morning Haze. So this one replaces the Kia Forte, and under the hood we have a 2-liter inline 4, putting out 147 horsepower. That is not a lot, but I think that is enough. And that is also going to bring down the price point, and that is what I want to see more of. We have 132 pound-feet of torque. It is connected to a CVT gearbox, unfortunately. We have front-wheel drive, 0 to 60 in about 8.5 seconds. Fuel economy, though, is great. 29 city, 39 highway. And the price for this, with the GT line, comes in at $28,345, which I think is a great deal for what you're getting. Now, you do get a range of about 480 miles on a full tank. You could get the turbo 2-liter if you want to, and that gives you 43 more horsepower, 0 to 60 in about 7.1 seconds. Not too bad, but personally I would definitely wait for the hatchback and get that one in a turbo and the GT line for the hatchback. I think that looks absolutely fantastic. Now this one has the GT line premium package for $1,100, and what you get with that is an Harman Kardon sound system. For example, you get the Syntax seating material, you get memory driver seat and also ventilated seats, and you also have another option, which is the sunroof for $900. So with that said, let's close down this very, very heavy hood and let's talk about this design. Now, checking out the design of this Kia K4, I love what Kia has done here. I think Kia right now, they're doing such cool designs with their entire lineup. They get very chiseled, very robotic, a little bit industrial, more on the product design side, but still have this automotive flow to it. We do have, in fact, the Tiger nose intact in the front end, barely, because you can see that this right here dips downwards and this goes upwards, and we have the same on the other side, and this is what Kia calls the Tiger nose, which was introduced with the Kia Key concept in 2007, I do believe. I do love the daytime run lights here. Very cool and looks super high quality. I love that we have LED indicator and daytime run lights for $28,000. The main headlight unit sits right here, as you can see, inside of this black housing, and I do like how it connects to the grille itself. We have some nice chamfers in the lower section as well, and a clearly defined bumper separating the top half graphics from the lower half graphics in this vehicle. I do like the GT line because everything is blacked out. As you can see, all the blacked out features except for this line up top, which is silver, which is totally fine because this then connects to the graphic piece that is the daytime run light right there. Beautiful Kia logo up top, looking very clean. And we do have some functionality in the lower section as well. Completely open down low and up here as well. This is not functional. I would like to see some air curtains here or something to have this piece have some functionality to it. Now looking at the hood design, very clean design for the hood. Only 2 lines coming in. We have this line right here cutting into this area right here, connects all the way up to the A-pillar, looking beautiful. We don't need anything more than that, in my opinion. So the front end overall, I think it creates a clear brand identity for what this is. There's no mistaking this for anything else than a Kia, in my opinion. And coming around to the side view, I do love the wheel design that we have here, because yes, they are mainly black, but thankfully we do have some silver trim inside of the wheels, and the wheel size themselves are 235s by 18. So 18-inch wheels, and honestly, I don't think we need bigger wheels than this. This looks totally fine for me. The sides look great, the stance looked nice as well, and we also have a very nice line flow in the side view here. We have this line, for example, coming down from the side mirror right here, coming down and cutting through and connecting to the corner of the headlight. If we go back, we have a nice shoulder line right here cutting through the body, and then we have this line, this shelf up top, creating a nice muscle right here over the rear axle. Exactly what I want to see to have this car be properly planted on the ground. Very unique design when you look at this area. So check this out. We have the greenhouse coming down here in the silver trim and then going straight up and have a very thin corner right here where the roofline meets this body panel, in addition to what Kia always does with their models right now. They always want to have some sort of silver trim piece in this area that stands out from the rest of the trim piece that goes all around the car. They have that on every single model. If you look at any 2024, 2025 Kia, you're gonna see that feature right there. Massive chamfer up top here as well. Something that is very unusual to see. This big chamfer up top. We have the sunroof up there as well. That is $900 option. I'm not sure if I would probably not equip it with $900 sunroof. I just don't care for sunroof. As I'm sure you already know, we have some gloss plastic going all around the wheel arches. I would like to see, specifically for the GT line, I want to have these be body color, because I think that would add a lot of sportiness to this design. Looking at the side mirror, it is blacked out, looking very nice, in addition to the LED indicator right here and the silver arm for it, looking super clean. And the door handles, regular door handle in the front end, and we have this interesting door handle up here. And I like this because what this does, it just cleans up this area. You don't have a door handle sitting right here and just ruining this otherwise very beautiful surface. Instead, you just use this right there. We're gonna have a look at the interior in just a second. Now, coming around to the rear end, very, very cool design here as well. Again, typical Kia design with these LEDs that has a very dynamic feel to it, but still very robotic. So you see right here how it goes from thick to thin, thick in this corner to thin, and then thick here again into thin piece, and all the way in the very end you still have a thick piece right there. So go from thick to thin is what I want to see. However, you see what we have here for the indicator? We have regular light bulbs here. So we have LEDs in the front. I want to have LEDs in the rear as well and spend an extra $100 or something like that for the price point. But other than that, this LED feels high quality. It just looks nice, and it looks like a much more expensive vehicle, in my opinion, than what you're paying for this at $28,000. Now, looking at the end point, we do have a bit of an upswing, just a tiny little upswing at the very end. A nice chamfer here as well with the Kia logo. You have the rear mounted camera located right there, and if we open up the trunk with this button right there, it is not power assisted, which is totally fine for me. I don't need that. We have plenty of space back here, but again, if you were to wait for the hatchback, you are of course going to get more space than this, and you're gonna get, in my opinion, a cooler looking design as well. 60-40 split for the rear seats. If you need more space back here, all you gotta do is just fold down the seats. Now, closing this back down and looking at the lower section of the rear end, we do have a sort of a diffuser back here, I would say, with these fins right here, looking pretty aggressive. You have the reverse light located right there in the middle, and similar styling to this black piece like we have in the front end design. So overall, if you compare Kia today to what they were maybe just almost 5 years ago, and you look at what they're doing right now, it's a completely different brand when it comes to quality, feel, and also design identity. They've nailed the design with this robotic styling that we have that I love to see in every single Kia these days. So with that said, we talked about the exterior design. Let me know what you think about this. Now let's jump in and have a look at what's going on in the interior. In case you missed it, my 11-hour online class in design sketching is now only $47. If you have any desire to pick up the skill of sketching products using simple tools such as a big pen and cheap print paper, this is something you want to check out. Over the years, I've taught thousands of students from all around the world how to sketch cars and products, and most of them have seen amazing results from my classes. Analog Designer Pro Pack is the full bundle of all my classes I've released over the years, and it's yours for just $47. Check out everything that's included and see what my students have to say in the link in the description, or simply visit analogdesignerpropack.com. Now, Kia has a very interesting solution for the screen situation inside here. First of all, it looks pretty cool with the dual 12.3-inch screens that we have there. And then we also have a small 5-inch screen right in the middle. But first of all, with the GT line package, $1,100 package, this is what you get. You get heated seats in the door in 3 different levels. You have ventilated seats as well, and the memory seats right here. Door handle feels very high quality, feels nice. Some soft touch material right here. And
please try again.
I'm not sure why Kia is speaking to me right now, but probably it hears its name and wants to tell me something. You have the storage down here with the cup holder and the Harman Kardon sound system, part of the $1,100 package right there as well. I do like that we have power assisted seats, even though I would probably just adjust them once and keep them in that setting. You have the GT line seats here, very nice bolstering. I like that we have the contrast to it as well. White headrest, white situation going on here, and heated and ventilated, of course. So let's jump in here while the car is going to talk to us.
Sorry, something went wrong. Please try again in a moment.
I don't need anything from you, car. We're all good. Thank you, though. So looking at the situation that we have with the dual screens here, 12.3 infotainment screen. And as you can see, we do have wireless Apple CarPlay here, which is great to see. Love to see that in this price range, that we don't have to connect it with a cable, which feels so outdated today. But this is the interesting piece that I want to show you. The climate screen, the 5-inch climate screen. So here you have all these features for the climate control settings, and you can also bring that up onto the big screen right here. And in addition to that, thankfully, we still have the temp knob right here and the fan speed as well, and where you want the air to blow out from. Everything that I want is intact in this interior. I do wish we did have a housing for the gauge cluster, obviously, but the graphics for this looks very clean, very high resolution, and you can also switch out the center portion here. So it is almost a little bit configurable. You can have different variations here of what you want for the center portion of the screen and have different information for that. You also have drive modes here. You only have 2 drive modes. I don't want 52 drive modes. I think 2 is totally fine. So what do we have? We have normal and we have sport. When you turn it into sport, you can see that it switches up to red gauges, and normal gives you yellow gauges just like that. Looking at the infotainment screen here, the 12.3-inch screen, it looks pretty decent. Apple CarPlay, of course, wireless. It's a pretty basic system, but I would always have, of course, Apple CarPlay connected at all times, which is what I always have when we have wireless Apple CarPlay. Now here is the volume knob, very interesting location and design for this one. You have the quick buttons for the screen here itself. Clicking the home button is going to bring you to the home or map, for example. Brings up the full map here, which looks great. You don't necessarily need Apple CarPlay all the time because you do have a nice looking map. As you can see, we have the vents down here, very nicely integrated, and I do like this texture that we have going on. It feels, again, very high quality, and this soft touch material up here. We don't have a head-up display. I don't need a head-up display, so it's totally fine for me. And again, these almost rubberized buttons for the climate settings is great to see that they're still being physical here in the Kia K4. Now, all the way down here, you do have a wireless charging pad. Very heavy rubberized, and you have these ridges on each side, so your phone is not going to slide anywhere. You have the connections here, 2 USB-Cs, and if we push this, you're going to find a 12-volt cigarette outlet. Beautiful. You have the start button right here as well. Putting it into reverse is going to pop up the reverse camera with the trajectory lines, and the resolution is pretty good for this price range. I'm honestly surprised to see just how good of a resolution this is. Still a little bit grainy, but definitely nothing to complain about in this price range. Auto hold at red lights. You have the camera button right there. 2 cup holders, which in typical Kia fashion, you can slide back like this if you want more storage. If you want them to pop out, all you got to do is that. Press this button and it pops back out. Also the key. The key looks great. I mean, this looks like a very high-end key to me. Check this out. We have a nice ridge here that says Kia on it. And then you have lock, unlock, hold to open the trunk, panic button, and that is it. You also have remote start. This is a smart key, so this is keyless entry with this key. Great features for this price range. The only thing that I would like to change is probably the CVT gearbox, which still has these simulated shifts, which I honestly don't understand why they put it in the CVTs, because you can tell that it's very, very simulated, fake shifts. But I guess it, helps a little bit with the driving experience. Now, looking at the center armrest here, very soft up top, not the biggest storage, and you don't really get a lot of things down here. No LEDs or no USB-Cs. But again, for this price range, I think it's totally fine. Now, looking at the seats, as I said, properly bolstered seats in the GT line, super sporty, very comfortable as well, and the design look fantastic in my opinion. Looking at the steering wheel, this steering wheel is very, very unique because we have a flat bottom, but we also have a flat top, which is very cool to see. And this white center portion with this ridge in the middle, Kia offset to the side here, and these ridges right next to the buttons. On the left side, we have the controls for the cruise control setting, and also this button to customize the center portion of the screen. And right here on the right side, we have the voice command and also the volume knob right there. I do like this steering wheel. It feels very good to use, even though it has this very strange shape to it. Now, as you can see, we do have the paddles here, but it just doesn't really do anything with the CVT gearbox. Yes, you can imagine that you're shifting gears, I guess, but it's not something that I would ever use with a CVT gearbox. On the right side, you have the controls for the washers right there, and you have the controls on the left side for the indicator stock in that area. All the way down here, you have the parking brake and traction control on and off, in addition to another vent. And looking up top, we have the standard size sunroof. So I do think that is all in the front end. We have a glove box right there that is not the biggest glove box, but it's also not the biggest vehicle. So let's jump in and check out the back seat. Let's see what that is all about. If I can fit behind my own driving position, 6162. Love the position of the door handle, because look at how clean everything is in the door and how big the rear door is. It's pretty huge. Opening this up, we have an overview of the door panel, looking pretty clean here. Same type of door handle that we have in the front end. Let's move this thing. Hopefully we're not gonna need this anymore this year to scrape snow and ice off the vehicles, but here in Colorado you honestly never know. Now, closing the door, and we do have plenty of leg room back here and also plenty of headroom. We have some lights here as well on top. I do like how they fade in and out like this, and also a touch button like that. Looks very, very clean. There's really nothing going on back here except for a couple of USB-Cs and some storage in this area. You do have the speakers back here in the door as well. And if we fold down the center armrest, you are going to find yourself, of course, 2 cup holders right there. Very interesting solution for this tiny window that we have in this area. Brings in some additional light. I really like to see that. They could have just covered it up, but this looks much more clean in my opinion. So with that said, we talked about the exterior design, the interior. Now let's take this for a drive. Whew, it is toasty today. It's only 66 degrees, but as soon as the sun is out here in Colorado, it gets very, very hot, very, very fast. So let's take the K4 2025 GT line. Let's take it for a drive. And let's see what this is all about here. We can quiet that tripod down a little bit so it's not rattling too much. Now, as I said, these are cars that I definitely want to see more of in this price range, under $30,000, that look this good, that has all these features: heated and ventilated seats, wireless Apple CarPlay, dual 12.3-inch screens. I mean, the value you get with this, the only thing that is, why it's so cheap is because of the power and the CVT gearbox. But honestly, I don't mind that. I really don't. Not for this price point. $28,000, you get pretty much a fantastic looking sedan, super comfortable, great exterior and interior design, and all the features you could ever want, even though with 147 horsepower, it's obviously not going to be the quickest vehicle out there. But for a, just a daily driver, comfortable, classy looking daily driver, definitely an option. Now, personally, as I said, when I saw the hatchback unveiled just a couple of days ago, I think it was last week or something like that, just a beautiful, beautiful styling with that one. And that is the one I would personally go for, because I think even though this is great, a sedan, but hatchbacks are even more rare, specifically in the US. So I would want to support that. And the thing is, that hatchback is actually coming to the States. So if they're bringing it over here, definitely would support it, and I would definitely get that one. However, I would probably just pay a couple of grand more and get the turbo with an additional 43 horsepower, just to get, a little bit more power, 0 to 60 in about 7 seconds instead of 8.5 like we have for this one. But if you don't care about that, I mean, this is a great, fantastic deal in my opinion. I just wish we had LEDs for the indicators in the rear. That is something I don't understand why so many car companies do. They put LEDs, full LEDs in the front end with the indicators and all of that. Beautiful styling, looks high-end, looks more quality when you have LEDs all around. And then they just cheap out on the taillights. So many companies do that. Nissan Frontier, for example, same thing there. They have actually the opposite, full LED in the rear. Then they have Edison light bulbs in the front end for some trims. It just doesn't make sense to me. I would much rather spend a couple of, more $100 and get LEDs all around. I forgot that we have the GT line package, and I'm sweating here, so why not turn on the ventilated seats? That was flooring it, just so you know. We got up to 30 downhill. So if you're looking for speed, this is definitely not the car for you. But if you're looking for everything else, this could be an option if you don't mind, having to bend your knees as you go exit and enter the vehicle, since it is a sedan and not an SUV form. We're gonna floor it up here as well. I'm gonna show you just how sleepy this powertrain can be. Now, you do have the simulated shifts, and that is another thing that I just don't... first of all, I should probably Google this, but what is the benefit of having a CVT gearbox? I'm not entirely sure what the benefit actually is. I'm sure there has to be a major benefit to it. Probably price point is my guess, because usually you find CVTs in the cheaper range of cars, so I guess it would be price range. But for me, I always prefer, just a regular gearbox with regular gears, and then you can actually use these paddles properly. We can't put it in manual. Let's just put it in manual here and see what it actually does. We're coming up to a 50 zone here. We're going 20 right now. So let's floor it and let's try to use the shifters and see what happens. Shift down. Oh, I'm flooring it right now. We're coming up to 40 right there. Good job. 45. Shift. 50. And you almost don't want to go any faster than 50. And there we go. We're up to 60. So using the shifters, we're in fourth. We can shift up to fifth, sixth, and it looks, as looking at the rev counter, the tachometer, you can see that it actually drops the revs, which is great to see. I mean, you can go up to seventh gear. I mean, 7 simulated gears in this vehicle. So I guess it does have some functions. And shifting down here to 6, 5, 4. Let's go down to third. Floor it again. They're struggling to get up to 50 here. 4. Actually, these paddles and this CVT feels pretty good, to be honest. I know it's all fake, I know it's all simulated, but I think they've managed to make it feel as close to a normal gearbox as they possibly can. So down to fourth here. You can feel the jerkiness as well when you're shifting gears. I really like that. It honestly, I'm surprised by this. I have not used the paddles before this video. I've had it in automatic this entire time. But using the paddles are actually not that bad. I'm surprised by how well or how good it actually feels. So let's turn in here and let's floor it downhill this time, and let's see if that's any better. Second gear. Taking it a little easy, going past this truck. And let's go. not bad. Not bad at all. Really not bad with the shifting and a CVT. I mean, if you're gonna have a CVT, this is definitely the type of CVT that I would want to have, because I can feel like this could actually be quite fun to use the paddles on a twisty road, to just add some sort of excitement to the driving experience, even though you are driving a CVT. I mean, even though you have a CVT gearbox. So Kia, not bad. I think this is the best CVT I've ever driven when it comes to simulated shifts and making it feel like a regular gearbox. The cornering is great as well. I mean, it's not the sporty. You can feel like it's leaning a little bit in the corners, which is totally fine. It gives you that old school feel. Before adaptive dampers and all of that stuff. Down to third. Flooring it here. Oh, it's struggling. Into fourth, fifth. So not bad. It actually feels a little sportier than I thought it would feel. And I can imagine if you just had the extra 43 horsepower with the turbo, I do think the turbo is about $31,000 or something like that. This is 28, and I think I would honestly spend the extra money to just get some more power. This is very, very underpowered in my opinion. But if you're just going to use it to commute, daily drive, and so on, you don't really care about acceleration 0 to 60 time. I mean, why not just save the money and go for this one? You still get all the features that you want, and it's still an extremely comfortable ride. So to sum it up, I really hope Kia sells a lot of these K4s, both the sedan and the hatchback. I think they will, because the value is so great. Because I want to support these type of vehicles. I want to see more sedans, more hatchbacks, not just looking down on the highway down there, SUV, truck, crossover. You know, it's getting a little boring, and it's really sad to see that a lot of companies are just completely ditching the sedans altogether, and the hatchbacks as well, the proper hatchback. And I'm talking about the design that looks like the old, the Volkswagen Golf, for example. Those are the hatchbacks that I love to see. So well done, Kia. I wish you all the best with the K4. You've made a great car for a great price, and I hope to see more of these out on the roads. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.